I thought I'd say something about the royal family in the light of what's happening with the Andrew, formerly known as Prince, being stripped of everything royal. And his ascendant is at 11 degrees of Leo. So there's the ascendant is how we present, how we immediately come across. And of course, with Leo, it's royalty. And that can have its shadow side as well. So it's your identity. Who you are in the world, that's the MC, that's the overhead point. But it's like his identity is tied up with being royal, and that is being stripped from him. He has got the shadow side of it, because the shadow side of Leo is the entitlement, which he's known for. He's known for treating his staff in an arrogant way, in ways that members of the other members of the royal family, who've also got Leo rising, Charles, Kate, even though she married into it, they've got Leo rising. His mum, I think maybe she had Leo moon, Queen Elizabeth II. Anyway, it's a bit, in a way, it's early in the transit. Yeah. And Andrew's Leo is at 11 degrees. Pluto will reach 5 degrees next year of Aquarius, opposite it. Yeah. So it's still got a few years to go. It suggests we haven't seen the end of it yet. So this must be incredibly painful for him. I'm not trying to, make him out to be the victim here. Far from it. I'm just saying it is painful. And Andrew has got a Pisces sun. And Pisces is the sign that it can be sort of hopeless and it can lose everything. Yeah, it's got no boundaries. So Mikhail Gorbachev, president of Russia, he was a Pisces. And he tried to reshape the USSR and lost everything. That's Pisces. They can just lose everything. And that's what's happening to Andrew. His sun is at 0 degrees of Pisces. So Uranus is squaring it. So there's these sudden changes going on in his status, in who he is. And he's got it opposite Pluto, and it's in the 8th house. So Sun in Pisces in the 8th, opposite Pluto. There's the dark sexuality. Yeah, Pluto in the 8th house. I mean, he was probably thoughtless about it. Yeah, he could just sort of be led by the nose. I mean, he's known for there not being an awful lot going on in the upstairs department. But that doesn't mean he's also culpable. So he was hopeless and hapless and thoughtless and just sort of drifted in and didn't think about what he was doing. But that didn't mean there weren't also darker motives going on if he hadn't thought about it. Because he's got Moon in Scorpio. So Sun in Scorpio's house, opposite the ruler of Scorpio, which is Pluto, and Moon in Scorpio. So there's a lot of that in his chart. There's a lot of darkness underneath that sort of, slightly hopeless Pisces sun. I mean, she was said to be the favourite of his mother. And, Pisces can also have that quality that they're hopeless, but everyone loves them, or at least his mother did. I mean, I did hear rumours that he's not actually Prince Philip's son. Yeah, I mean, he does look a bit different, but that might just be libel. I'm just saying there was a rumour. I'm not saying there's any truth to it. So Charles is the one stripping him. And Charles has got Sun in Scorpio. So there it is. Scorpio. It's surgical. It's ruthless. Yeah. He's doing what has to be done for the survival of the monarchy. Scorpio has a quality of survival, and it's ruthless in the pursuit of that. I mean, Charles has managed to forge his own identity within a very tight cage of who he was supposed to be, in a way that his son William hasn't. It's not that there's anything lacking in William. William's just who he is, and he does a good job. He does his duty, And we can't ask more than that. But he hasn't got that Scorpio reshaping and reforging of yourself. So Charles is, he was a visionary. You know, you may or may not have agreed with him about architecture, but he had a whole village built on a much more human scale, Poundsbury in Dorset. He was ahead on things like homeopathy and organic farming. So he does look ahead. He does see to the future. So that is part of his Scorpio. Well, Scorpio isn't necessarily visionary, but that ability to forge himself so that there is room for his own vision. Charles has also got a Venus-Neptune conjunction in Libra in the third house of siblings. So that's very sweet. Yeah. He probably acts in a very loving and tender way towards Andrew. Yeah. But at the same time, he's doing what he has to for the monarchy. It's not personal. He's probably even persuading Andrew that he's doing a service to the royal family, which of course he believes in because he, used to be a prince. Yeah. And he is. The monarch, Andrew has to be stripped back because of what he did. And he can probably, it does sound like he's got Andrew on side. Andrew's exceeded each time. There's this humiliation. It's quite extraordinary. Just this being ground down to nothing. I mean, he's still got a double-barreled surname. And that's a kind of sign of status, isn't it? But, you know, that's not royalty. It's the royalty, the Leo, that's being taken away from him. And Charles's sun in Scorpio is next to Andrew's moon in Scorpio. Sun-moon connections are often strong and natural, so there is a very good connection between them. In a way, it's not personal, it's extraordinary. Yeah, he's doing all this, you know, taking everything away from his brother, everything that means he can hold his head high, and yet it's not personal. It's quite a thing. It's quite a thing. What a story. Now, I said it's not over for Andrew. Pluto won't actually be opposite his sun for 2 or 3 more years yet. There's ways to go. Who knows what that is? But there's also a lot going on for the other members of the royal family, Charles included. Pluto has changed sign in his 6th house of health. Because he's got Leo rising, means he's got Aquarius on the descendant, the 7th house. So Aquarius started during the 6th house of health. And Pluto, of course, moved into Aquarius 2 or 3 years ago. And Charles had a diagnosis of cancer around that time. Big change in his health. And it will leave his 7th house in 2 or 3 years' time. So that, you know, that's possibly going to be either the end of the cancer or a resurgence of it and the end of him. Princess Kate, the same. She's got Leo rising in early Leo. Pluto will cross her descendant. She got a cancer diagnosis around the same time when Pluto also changed sign in her 6th house. Now, just because you've got Leo rising doesn't mean you're going to get a cancer diagnosis. I mean, I've got Leo rising, according to a dream I had, but I didn't get a cancer diagnosis or anything happened to my health when Pluto changed sign. But it can mean that. And so, I mean, it's a major transit coming up for both of them when Pluto crosses their ascendant in the next year and the year after. It could be the end of either of them. I mean, Prince Charles has got the MC at 5 degrees as well. It's a kind of square chart, and his moon and his north node up there. So he's got huge change over the next couple of years because Pluto will be squaring his MC and his moon and his north node. It could be the end of him. It could be the end of Kate. Prince William has got sun and moon at the beginning of Cancer. 1 degrees and 4 degrees, I think, respectively. Now, Neptune and Saturn are squaring those. They've already begun to do that. And they're in his 7th house, which is relationship. There could be a loss of relationship. And loss of father, because the sun is the father. All these things are possible. It's possible that both Kate and Charles go, and that William becomes king. All these things are possible as Andrew is ground down further and further until he's just almost not there. Pluto will grind you into nothing. It'll just be someone we never hear of anymore. So I'm not saying all these things are going to happen, but I'm just pointing out the strength of the transits that are going on for the royal family in the next 2 or 3 years. There's a lot that's going to change. Queen Camilla too. Now she's got sun and moon in Cancer in the 12th house, so that's quite hidden. But isn't that an interesting resonance that with her stepson, Prince William, who's also got sun and moon in Cancer, except his is in the 7th house of relationship. So who he is very much tied in to his marriage, and that may well be dissolving if Kate's Cancer returns. And Camilla has also got Leo rising. Isn't that fascinating? All that Leo, that royal sign in the family of royalty. And her rising sign is at 3 degrees Leo. Pluto is already opposing that. So again, big change for her. And then Neptune will square her moon in the coming years. Moon is the mother. So she may, if Charles does move on, pass on, she will move into being the matriarch as Neptune squares her moon. But also, hidden. She is hidden, sun and moon in the 12th. She doesn't, well, she's not exactly hidden, but she doesn't, she's happy to be in the background and do what she does. She's got that kind of dignity, and there's no loss in that. And yeah, one more point that's worth talking about is the scapegoat. Because there's always a member of the royal family who, in each generation, there seems to be at least one member who doesn't fit. I just stopped there to go and find Princess Charlotte's chart, looking for the troublemakers in each generation. And the reason you get that is because that family is very defined who you are. And that suits a lot of people. I mean, we talk about society brainwashing us, but it doesn't really. It just provides necessary rules, customs, traditions, so that we can live, so we can orientate ourselves, so we can know who we are. And often people are happy. Most people are happy with that which is given to them. But not everyone works like that. So William's quite happy with what was given to him. Charles, he's accommodated himself quite impressively, I think. King Edward VIII, who resigned, well, he wasn't able to fit in. He wasn't able to keep out of politics, which you have to if you're king, you're above it. And that's said to be the real reason they got rid of him. Princess Margaret was well known for not fitting in. That's the next generation. And then the next generation, you've got Andrew and Diana, who married in. This generation, you've got Harry. And the next generation, well, Princess Charlotte has got Moon in Libra, opposite Uranus and square to Pluto. So there's trouble. And it could be that she wants to get married to the wrong person. Yeah, Moon in Libra, that's relationships. But Uranus, there's something unexpected. Yeah? Someone who's not good enough or wrong for the royal family in some way or another, which Andrew managed with Sarah Ferguson. One of the royal courtiers referred to her as vulgar, vulgar, vulgar. But she was a breath of fresh air. I didn't mind her. So there is that scapegoat quality which you find in each generation, and Andrew's one of them. He's outside the bounds, but not in a good way, because you see sometimes let's say the black sheep, to mean misfit. Sometimes that can be because really they are quite dark, and sometimes they just don't fit, or sometimes it's a bit of both. And you find this in families with money. If they've got a lot of money, well, then the money defines who they are, what's good enough for them. And a lot of people are happy with that. That's how they've been born, and it gives them a certain status, because humans are very status conscious wherever they are. But some people can't fit within those rules. It's like, no, I can't be defined like that. There's other things going on in me. And so, yeah, you're going to get, those sorts of people popping up regularly. So we have that in the royal family. Andrew, it doesn't seem to be in a very good way. Harry, well, the jury's out, but he does play the victim, and I wish he'd stop complaining. He's got a perfectly good job to do back at home, in my book. A working royal, you're doing a service for the country. Why not do it? And then we'll see Charlotte. So, yeah, I just wanted to say something about that scapegoat quality, and that Andrew fits well into that. Okay, I think I've said enough about the royal family. And just to end, here's my book on astrology, Surfing the Galactic Highways. You can get it on Amazon. And here's my other book, The Medicine Wheel. You can also get it on Amazon. And if you read it, either of them, and leave a rating on Amazon, I will give you a free astrology reading. Okay, bye for now.